Awesome. We're rolling. Yay, thank you. Good morning. Welcome to Saturday morning yoga. Thank you so much for joining me today on the mat. We're going to just get right into a full body wake up flow, starting from the ground, as if we're just kind of waking up in our day, getting yourself comfortable on your back. And here you could just take a moment, feel the shoulder blades just underneath of you. Kind of feel the pelvic tilt. Maybe your whole back is flat. Maybe you have a small arc in the lower back. Letting the feet fall to the side. And maybe opening the palms to the sky. Welcome a deep inhale here. And a slow exhale, feeling your face relax. Just opening here yourself to the practice, letting everything else around you fade away, and coming inward. How are you feeling? Any pain anywhere? The temperature of your body. Throughout the practice, be going through a whole bunch of different poses. Just know that wherever you are is exactly where you ought to be. You're doing great. And there's no need to follow along perfectly. You can make all the adjustments and modifications to make this practice your own. We'll start here with a nice deep inhale, reaching arms overhead. Full body stretch. Reach the toes away, reach the arms away. Stretching through the abdomen. And bringing the knees in towards the chest here, hugging the knees in, give yourself a little rock side to side. And inhale to draw the forehead to touch the knees. Nice big tight squeeze of a hug. Thank yourself for being here on the mat. And exhale, release. We're going to extend both legs up to this, straight up to the sky here, grabbing a hold of your shins or ankles or even peace fingers around the big toes. If you're feeling tight in the hamstrings, maybe a gentle bend in the knees. We're going to add some movement, allowing the feet to fall away from each other. We open nice and wide here. Back through center. Just trying to keep straight legs as much as you can. We open the feet back out away from each other. Maybe you open a little bit further this time. And you can even play with the point of the toes. Maybe you point when you open. Inhale, we close the feet together. Maybe find flexing through the ankles. And opening up here one more time. We'll come back in a bit from this open V position with our legs. We're just bending the knees in and trying to grab the outsides of the feet as we find our happy baby. Maybe pushing the feet a little bit away from each other again here. We'll slowly release the feet, planting them onto the ground, knees pointing up. Hands by your side, we inhale, lift the pelvis, tucking it under, really feeling that engagement through the core here. As we find a bridge pose, all the weight on the shoulders, the neck is long. And maybe here you even try to walk the feet in a little bit. See if your hands could find the ankles. Even kind of grab a hold of the ankles to find a deeper back bending sensation. A deep inhale into the chest. And we'll exhale, slowly release the back all the way down. We'll start with one leg, right leg extending up straight again. And maybe just adding some movement into the ankle, rolling it around one way and rolling it the other way. We'll come to find a pigeon on our back. The right ankle is going to cross over the left lower leg thigh. And we're just going to pull that left lower leg into our chest, while also trying to feel the sensation of the right knee pushing away. Pausing here for one more breath. We'll allow this right leg to cross all the way over the left. Opening the arms out wide, we find a nice spinal twist. Let the knees fall over to the left as well, while also trying to keep the right shoulder grounded. Turning the gaze to the right to deepen the twist. And breathing into the belly button. The inhale expands the belly button out. And the exhale draws the belly button back in. We come back to center and switch sides, allowing this right leg to extend down. We'll extend the left leg up to the sky, pulling it in. And adding some ankle rotations here. Switching direction of the rotation. And coming to find our pigeon on our back. Left ankle crosses over this right lower thigh, and we pull the lower thigh in. Maybe using your left palm to push the left knee away. On the next exhale, crossing the left thigh over the right, and we'll take a spinal twist this time to the right, knees fall. You can open the arm out wide, turn the gaze to the left. The inhale draws the air into the belly, expands the belly button away. And the exhale draws the belly back in. Whenever you're ready, coming back through center. Once again, hugging the knees in. We're just going to rock a few times here. Back and forth, rocking with lifting the hips up and coming forth, eventually just to find a seated pose. We're going to use the long side of the mat here if you'd like. So I'm just going to turn to face you, extending the right leg out to the side, pulling the left leg in like a half butterfly here. We'll start with a side bend. Inhale, arms overhead, and then exhale, the left arm reaches for the right toes. Turning the gaze up, opening the shoulder, the armpit to the ceiling. Inhale, we plant the left hand behind the left hip, and we're just going to gently lift the hips up to the sky, kind of open the chest here before sitting the hips back down. Maybe taking this right leg a little bit more center, we're going to just slightly turn our chest to face the extended right leg before folding, half butterfly. Walking the hands through center here. Another fold in this half butterfly. And we'll come back, lifting up the chest to the other side. So the left leg extends out, pretty parallel, pretty lateral to you. We'll start with a nice side stretch. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, right hand reaches for those toes. And we're opening the armpit up to the ceiling. Inhaling, back up, planting the right hand behind the right hip. Just going to try to lift the hips up. Maybe reach that left arm overhead before releasing the hips down. Maybe taking the extended left leg just slightly more central here. We'll inhale, extend the arms once again. Shift the shoulders and chest to face the extended leg before folding into our half butterfly. Still staying in this fold, maybe just taking the hands a little bit more central, bowing center. Before inhaling, back up. With the chest, we're opening the legs here full out wide, so both legs are extending out wide. And we find our dragonfly stretch. Here, you just kind of fold forward, making sure to keep the toes and knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Trying to think about sticking even the butt out a little bit before folding down, maybe onto the forearms. Trying not to find too much rounding through the back. We'll take another deep breath here. And whenever you're ready, slowly coming up, letting the hands fall behind you, planting the feet. We window shield wipe the knees side to side. Beautiful. We're going to turn here to come into our tabletop position, planting the hands, stacking the shoulders right over the wrist, hips right over the knees, into some cat-cows. The inhale draws the belly down and pulls the chest open, lifting the pelvis up in the back. Exhale, pushing the air out, feeling the belly button drawing towards the spine as you round the spine and press the shoulder blades. Press the shoulder blades away from each other. Just connecting breath with movement here. The inhales pull the belly down, open the chest. And the exhales round the spine. Oh, my AirPod keeps falling out. Okay. Sorry about that. Some technical difficulties. A few more here. Cat cowing. And finding yourself back into neutral. We're just going to send our hips back to our heels like we're coming into a child's pose. Finding a nice distance between our hands and feet to prepare for downward dog, tucking the back toes, extending the legs straight here, lifting our hips as high up to the sky as we can. First downward dog of the day, adding some movement. I always kind of like to add some movement even into my shoulder blades. Oh my goodness. Just 1 second. Right, my AirPod just really does not want to stay in my ear today. All right, we find our downward facing dog. I always kind of like to add some scapular shoulder blade movement here. So kind of pressing those shoulder blades back into place and then kind of pushing them away and back into place again. Eventually to settle with them kind of back in their sockets, feeling like your chest is expanding open as those shoulders kind of blades squeeze together a bit more in the back. Awesome. Really pressing those heels to the ground if you're able to, or maybe you keep the heels nice and lifted and focus more on sticking the butt out here, up high. Beautiful. We're going to inhale, roll it forward into a plank position. Finding a nice strong plank, engage through the core. Inhaling. And we're going to exhale slowly, lower to the ground, bending at the elbows, tucking them into the side, lower, all the way down to the belly. We'll add some cobra movement. Inhale, press the chest open, slight back bend. And exhale, release down. Inhale, squeezing the shoulder blades back. Again, cobra, making sure those shoulders are staying away. Pelvis pressing into the ground. Maybe even the feet are actively pressing into the ground. Exhale, release. We'll take a lotus lift here, interlacing the hands behind the back, drawing that fist back. We lift up through the chest. Strong back here, lifting, inhale. And exhale, release. Bring the hands back underneath the shoulders once again. We lift up, opening the chest into our cobra. And maybe here we can work on getting it up into an upward facing dog, pressing into the palms, tops of the feet to lift the thighs off the ground. And on the exhale, we're going to lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Wonderful. From here, we'll inhale, lift the right leg up into the sky, three-legged. We'll bend at the knee and stack right hip on top of left hip. We're going to do a funky transition to our flip dog wild thing. And so it might be a little bit weird. No worries if it doesn't feel quite comfortable. So from our stacked hip position, we're going to try to release this right foot all the way down onto the ground. Open the chest here, flipping the dog. A nice back bend heart opener. Exhale, you can plant the hands back. Kind of just find your way back into your downward facing dog. We'll try to go for the other side here. So finding your nice strong down dog, the left leg lifts up. We bend the knees, stack left foot, hip on top of the right hip. And then you kind of just keep flipping and flipping so the left foot will ground behind you on the other side. And you kind of just press the hips up to the sky. Allow the chest to open into a gentle back bend here. Yeah, we'll release the left hand back down. Coming back into our downward facing dog. Ah. On the inhale, we'll lift the heels, bend the knees, step to the top of the mat, releasing into a fold. Before inhale, rising all the way up to standing, arms overhead. And exhale, release hands by your side. All right, so we'll go into a round of sun salutation here to just warm up the heat, get a little bit more heated in case we're not feeling that too much. Inhale, reaching arms overhead. Exhale, hinge forward fold. Inhale, hands to shins, halfway lengthen, draw the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, plant the hand, step it back to our plank on the same exhale, lowering down to the ground. If you can, staying a hover in a low push-up. Inhale, pressing the chest forward and up, upward facing dog. And exhale, we find downward facing dog. A deep focusing, cleansing breath into the belly on the inhale. And exhale, let it go, baby, audible. On the next inhale, we lift the heels, bend the knees, step, or maybe this time take a little float, hop to the top of the mat, releasing into a fold. Before inhaling, rising all the way up to standing, arms overhead. And exhale, hands by your side. We're going to go for another round here, but start to add on some extra stretches along the way. So inhale, reaching up, arms overhead, gaze up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lengthen, long spine here. Exhale, plant the hands. We're stepping back into our plank and lowering down to the ground, find chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog, squeeze the glutes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. We're going to start on the right side. Inhale, right leg extends up, three-legged. We'll draw that right knee into the chest and step the right foot in between the hands. A nice deep bend into this front right knee and straight and active through the back leg. We inhale, lift up high into our high lunge. Taking a twist here, let the left hand come forward, right hand come back. Try to turn the gaze backwards. And inhaling back up, high lunge. We'll drop the back knee down into a low lunge. Adding some movement here, maybe planting the hands to frame the foot. We'll push the hips back, straighten through the front leg. Feel that left hip draw forward, right hip draw back. Half split. So we're just add some movement. We send the hips forward, chest open. And exhale, push the hips back, straightening the front leg. Inhale forward. And exhale, push it back. Enjoying this half split here for one more deep breath. And as we come forward here, we're going to take both hands inside of this front right foot, kind of heel toe the right foot outward, finding a low lizard lunge. Maybe you want to gently press that right knee away. Maybe you want to lower onto forearms here. Just kind of experiment, see what feels most sensational. And we'll come back up. We're going to plant the hands. We're sweeping this front leg back up into our three-legged dog. So tucking the back toes, the right leg goes up and back, three-legged. And we're sending it through one more time, bending the knee though here and bringing the knee to the right thumb. We find a pigeon pose. So taking a moment to adjust into this pigeon, the left hip is drawing down and you're lifting kind of the right hip up. Our hips are square. Maybe allowing the chest here to just fall forward for a breath. Nice long spine. Welcoming any tension to release, to fall away. Inhaling, we press the chest back up. Planting the hands. We're going to tuck the back toes and lift the hips, keeping this right foot crossed over the mat. So straightening both legs here. We find a nice IT band stretch along this right leg. And here we're just going to try to take a funky, sensational twist. I think it feels really good. The left hand will stay planted, and the right hand will reach up to the sky. Supposed to be kind of deepening that stretch of the sensation down the IT band on the right leg. Releasing the hand here, we're going to step this right foot back to our downward facing dog. Let's take it to the other side here. Inhale, left leg rises up. And we're going to step this left foot between the hands. Preparing for a high lunge, back leg is straight and active. Front knee is bent 90 degrees. Inhale, rise. And we'll welcome a twist here. The left hand comes back, right hand comes forward, gazing over back at the left fingertips. Inhale forward. We'll drop the back knee, low lunge. Maybe giving your hips a little extra push forward with the hands here. We'll let the hands come to frame the foot, adding some movement with half split, half split. Pushing the hips back as we straighten the left leg, flex the left foot, and forward back into low lunge. Pushing it back, half split. Inhale, forward, low lunge. Once more here, exhale, push it back, finding your half split for a breath. Right hip is drawing forward, left hip draws back. And we'll come forward once again. This time, instead of low lunge, we'll find our lizard lunge with both hands coming inside of this left foot and maybe even gently pushing this left knee out to the side a little bit. Beautiful. We're going to sweep this left foot right back into our three-legged dog, tucking the back toes. We press up and back, lift the left leg high, three-legged. And we're bending the left knee, pulling it back in and placing it right by the left thumb here as we find our pigeon pose. So readjusting to find, the pigeon that feels best for you. A nice deep inhale to elongate through the spine before exhaling, releasing your chest over your front knee. Hold a lot of tension in the hips, especially from lots of sitting. This is just one of the best hip stretches, in my opinion. Really get in there. We'll inhale, rise with the chest, plant the hands. And same thing as the other side, tucking the back toes. We're going to lift the hips and straighten this front left leg, keeping it crossed over the body here. For our IT band stretch, the right hand stays grounded and the left arm reaches up to the ceiling. It's a little bit of an awkward twist here. Just try your best. Release the left hand down, and we're going to step this left foot right back to our downward facing dog. Beautiful. Taking a nice deep cleansing breath here. We'll release the knees onto the ground and set the hips back into our child's pose. And coming up with the chest, we'll find a nice back bend here, almost towards the end of practice. So just starting to wind it down, hopefully nothing too intense. Standing on our knees, kneeling pose, we'll find our camel. So hands can first just come to the low back. You want to feel like the elbows and shoulder blades are drawing together as you start to open the chest up to the sky. Start to tilt the chin upwards. And we're just finding a gentle back bend here. If you'd like to go deeper, flexing the toes behind you and trying to reach the hands for the ankles. And here you can settle into a nice deeper back bend. Maybe your head falls all the way back if it's in your practice. Squeezing the glutes to protect the low back and really breathing deep into the heart space. One more breath here. Deep inhale. Slow exhale. Whenever you're ready, we're going to slowly come out. Hands back to the low back, lifting up and sitting the hips down, maybe taking a child's pose to counter. Let the head settle. And we'll just end off here with a hero's pose before closing off practice. So keeping your feet, they can stay. You have a few options. Your feet can kind of stay right underneath your hips, or if it feels okay on your knees. So if you do have some bad knees, maybe try to just keep the ankles underneath your sit bones. If your knees are flexible here enough, you can take the feet outside of your hips, placing your sit bones in between the feet and ankles. And here, all we do is we're just going to lean it back. A nice quadricep stretch is so hard sometimes, all these stretches. So don't quite hit the quads as often, as frequently, and we use our quads a lot. They get very tight. So here you can take it back. You can lie all the way back. Maybe squeeze the glute and maybe lift the hips. See if you can get a nice sensation through the quadriceps. Welcoming another deep breath here. With every exhale, feeling yourself relax a little bit more. Whenever you're ready, just slowly, if you're on your back, lifting your way back up. And you can just send your feet in front of you a bit, finding a nice, easy seated pose here. Perfect. That's all I had for today's practice. I'm just going to close off with one last breath here. A nice deep inhale, reaching overhead. And exhale, connecting your third eye to your heart and just bowing to yourself. I thank you so much for being here with me today, and I really hope to flow with you again soon. Hope you have a wonderful, relaxing weekend. Peace be with you all.
Bye bye. Thank you.